One of the main dramas this offseason for the Minnesota Vikings was what was going to happen with edge rusher Za'Darius Smith. Last year, Z, formerly of the Greasy Grimy Green Bay Packers, almost signed a deal with his original team, the Baltimore Ravens, and came to the Vikings on a 3-year deal. Played well first half of the season, got injured, and then you know the rest, right? And then was working for a new deal and wanted to be traded, sold his house, all that stuff. We all know the drama, right? But eventually he was flipped to the Cleveland Browns for an upgrade of late round picks. But now we have Za'Darius' side of the story. So Z was talking to some of the local media jackals over in Cleveland and had some things to say about his contract, as well as why he played through injury last year. So this is from our guy Will Raggets. Talk about his contract, quote, and why he played through injury. A lot of people didn't know in my contract I had to play every game to get my bonus, Smith said. Certain situations, coach is just telling me, give it all you can, and then we'll rest you from there. I wasn't as effective as I was at the beginning of the season, but I'm all healthy now and ready to go. I couldn't rest last year because every game I think I was making like $200K just to dress up. You would dress up too, right? Exactly. This offseason, Smith made know that he wasn't happy with his contract, essentially forcing the Vikings to trade or release him, yada, 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 yada. And looking at his contract last year, he did have incentives to be active and be healthy. Of course, the Vikings protecting themselves because Za'Darius had missed the bulk of the previous season with the Packers with a back injury, and that did come home to roost with the knee injury that he suffered halfway through the season. So I understand Za'Darius' perspective, where if he was going to get the bulk of his money, he had to play through injury. But at a certain point, the team has to step in. It's like if Za'Darius was being a detriment to the team, and it would have made more sense to have a guy like Patrick Jones II or DJ Wanham get more run and just sit Z down for a couple of games and make sure that he's ready for the playoffs. I mean, that's on the team, but I understand Z's incentives in that situation. According to Smith, the structure of the contract wasn't set up right due to how the guarantees were structured. For one, it wasn't set up right, he said. The guaranteed part of the first year was the only guarantee, so now I'm basically in the same situation, but it's okay now because I can get a chance to go into free agency next year. So we said this at the time. And it was uber frustrating that he was so mad about his contract because he was the one who signed it. Him and his agent did fire his agent and then hired Eric Burkhardt about a week before the Vikings ended up trading him, and he got a redone deal with the Browns. But so the reported reason why things fell apart in Baltimore is that they had a deal agreed to in principle. Then they saw how much Von Miller got in Buffalo. They asked for some more. The Ravens were like, no, and rescinded the deal. And now they went about, it's like it would have been embarrassing because they had a pretty solid 3-year deal lined up in Baltimore. It would have been embarrassing for them to go out and sign a 1-year deal, with $6.45 million guaranteed, which is essentially what this 3-year deal was. So they made it a 3-year, $42 million deal just to fluff up the numbers, and there was zero chance that he was going to reach year 3 of this contract. There was zero chance he was going to reach year 2. So he kind of put himself in this situation. And yeah, you complain about, the contract wasn't right. This is literally what you did. Right, and we said at the time this is a stupid contract. Whereas Za'Darius, given his age, given him coming off an injury, he should have signed a 1-year prove-it deal, and then he could have hit open free agency this year and gotten paid on the back of his very strong first half of the season. But I don't know, like it doesn't overly seem like sour grapes, and I do understand his logic in trying to soldier on and play even after he dinged up his knee against Baltimore. But, you saw how his play fell off. In the first 9 games of the season, he was playing at a legit Defensive Player of the Year level. Second half of the season, really disappeared and into the playoff game. So, of course, everything is hindsight now, but if he would have been just sat down when that knee was really bothering him towards the end of the year and we're able to get a decent pass rush on Daniel Jones in the playoffs, who knows what would happen? Who knows at this point? But like I said, Za'Darius only has himself and his former agent to be mad at for this contract, but it worked out the way that it worked out, so it's whatever at this point. But I don't know. Wish it could have worked out because I think Za'Darius on this defense with Brian Flores would have been phenomenal. Even with Daniil, even with Marcus Davenport, even with Patrick Jones II, just having a plethora of dudes who can get their own pass rush would have made a lot of sense, but it wasn't meant to be. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Za'Darius Smith opens up to the Cleveland media why he wanted out in Minnesota. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.